Welcome to Whistleblowers in partnership with Wix Trade Pro. Welcome to Whistleblowers. As ever, Gordon Smart here, joined by the one and only Mark Clattenburg, and on a brilliant bit of transfer dealings, we've replaced Ian Ladyman for the next couple of weeks. Rory Jennings. Rory, you did say Haaland would be a flop.
Yeah, pretty much. That's yeah. It was slightly more complex than that, but yeah, that's the gist of it.
Rory, of all the things that you've chucked out into the internet with Spence and Talksport and all these other places you've worked, what's the one clip that's had the most views?
That's the one.
Is that the one?
Yeah. No, do you know what somebody told me? I don't know if this is true or not, but somebody told me at Sky Sports, which is a terrible indictment on the world, that clip for Sky Sports has been viewed more than any other clip, including. Do you know what second on the list was?
Jamie Carragher touching Thierry Henry's knee.
No, worse. Like for the societal reflection here.
Oh, sorry. Aguero?
Wayne Rooney's bicycle kick. Oh. So more people have watched that nonsense that I was spouting on. Yeah, isn't that terrible?
That is an exact summary of where we are.
Yeah, exactly. No,
Rory Jennings on Erling Haaland.
Yeah.
How do you think Haaland will do this season?
I don't think. I don't rate him as highly as everyone else. He won't. He will not win the Golden Boot. Is that
goal machine?
He will not win the Golden Boot.
Give us a number.
He'll hit 18, but he won't win the Golden Boot.
Oof.
Isak at Liverpool will win the Golden Boot.
Isak at Liverpool
will win the Golden
Boot. Not Gyökeres at Arsenal.
No, it'd be interesting to see how he does.
Yeah,
interesting.
Didn't work for him at Swansea. Didn't work for him at Brighton.
No, although we've seen examples of that. You know, sometimes players get opportunities, they drop down and they come back.
De Bruyne at Chelsea.
De Bruyne went away. Salah went away. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there've been a few over the years.
Yeah. Did you say Isak at Newcastle for the Golden Boot?
Sadly, I didn't, Mark. Sorry.
All right.
Oh dear. Right. We've got loads of questions to get through here, so and a few listeners' questions as well, and we will finish our Wix table today. But we've got our all-time 11s to take care of as well. But we've got this first question to pull in here from Susan from North London. She says, Manchester, the Old Firm, Edinburgh, we all know the classic derbies in football. No mention of Liverpool there. But nowadays it feels like the magic of derby days disappearing. Rory, you're a Chelsea fan. What is your real West London derby? What's the one that or is the London derby?
Our derby's Tottenham. Our biggest game of the season would be Tottenham. Tottenham away is the fixture that you look out for, the fixture that you're scrambling for tickets for.
Right. That
would be the one that we're most up for. But I think Susan here has made a really interesting point. I think it's a broader point about the sanitization of football. Mm-hmm. Like, it isn't as spiteful as it should be, in my opinion. I think that it's not a fashionable thing to say, people don't like this, but I think that there is a place for venom in football.
Is that a reflection of how the game's changed to watch? Like, you don't see John Terry thundering through a striker anymore, do you?
No, you don't. And again, I think that something has happened, hasn't it, to football stadiums over the past 15 years, where it's really calmed and the prices have gone through the roof and it's priced out some of the most tribal, which some would say is beneficial for certain reasons. Others would say has created a situation where we have such a dilution of passion in the stadium now. Like, there are times at Chelsea where it's not a dissimilar audience to who'd be in the Royal Opera House in Covent Garden. Like, it's quiet, and it's not what it should be. What football should represent, isn't that?
I find that with London football, actually. It's just a different place to watch.
It's a fashion accessory for a lot of people.
But for Mark Clattenburg, how much are you looking forward to Newcastle Sunderland this season? Because that'll be fun, won't it? It'll be filthy.
No, it's not. Not as a Newcastle fan. It's because even when we played them in the FA Cup, there's always that worry. You know, when Newcastle were, top half of the Premier League and Sunderland were in the Championship, it's always a recipe for disaster. That the bragging rights, if Sunderland beat Newcastle, it's going to be horrific. And Sunderland had that spell where every time they replaced the manager just before Derby Day, they won.
Yeah, Di Canio, wasn't it?
Yeah, Di Canio, Big Sam, and it was Dick Advocat. There was another one. There was 3 or 4 coaches came in and they won. And I think they did, was it 6 off the bouncers, and it was just ridiculous. And Sunderland fans always hang on to that moment, even though, and derby days are special. I think Newcastle, Sunderland, because working class city, they breathe, they eat, they sleep football. And I think them derbies are unique. As a fan, they're unique. They're horrible to watch, the nerves. As a referee, it was interesting. I always found derbies was, even the latter part of it was strange. Mm-hmm. And I think you looked at the Manchester derby, the North London derby, Arsenal, Tottenham. I found, yes, the fans wanted the derbies, but the players were all friends. I remember being in tunnels and they're kissing and cuddling each other. They're all neighbours. Wow. They're all friends. And I never had that rivalry. And I've said this many times before. the derby that I used to look forward to was always Liverpool, Manchester United, because of, the history, but the players would not speak to each other in the tunnel. They wouldn't speak when they handed the team exchange. There was just no love lost between both sets of players, which, moved on to the England, when everybody talked about when England played, there was no friendships, there was no, team spirit. And when them derbies happened, they were ferocious. They were
the best
physical,
one?
They were hard.
What was the best one to referee then? What was the best atmosphere?
I always found the one I refereed, and I would love to have done the Old Firm game. That was always my dream. But I loved refereeing Birmingham Villa.
Yeah,
Birmingham Villa was incredible matches. Incredible. But I always found, and this is controversial, but I like being controversial, there's some derbies I always find better at certain places. Like I think Birmingham, it's better to referee at Birmingham than Aston Villa. Atmosphere slightly different. I think maybe the slightly, I wouldn't say smaller clubs, but the clubs that haven't been as successful, it always seems to be like Everton, Liverpool was always harder Everton than it would be at Liverpool. I think Manchester City at the time was harder to referee at Man City than Man United. I think it was slightly different, Man United, Man City. Same with Tottenham. Arsenal, Tottenham wasn't the same as Tottenham, Arsenal. So it seemed to be this, like the certain grounds as well created that. But from a football point of view, you're right. Football's changed so much. There's no such thing as tackling anymore. I think the asset of the player so much that they don't want the player injured, and the laws have changed so much where tackling's become, very rare. I think players stay on the feet more, and I think the game's changed so much. But I love a tackle, and I love seeing a tackle. And I think when you go to the derby, I remember Clattenburg, and I was at St James's Park. Clattenburg waited for the first 30 seconds, and he just kicked a player from Newcastle and put him in the air, and everybody was like, wow, it's a derby game. You don't see that first mark, and now the first kick of the game, I'm going to wipe him out in a derby. You might get a yellow card, but so what? It sets the mark and it gets the crowd going, and that's the most important thing. But I'm looking forward to the derbies as much as everybody else, because people have missed, especially the Newcastle Sunderland derby, for many, many years. It's important to have them derbies, like Tottenham Chelsea, for example, is there. Everybody wants to have that North London derby, but as a fan, they're brilliant to watch, but they're nervous because you want your team to win.
Yeah, I've been to quite a few English derbies. I went to City United, and I was quite shocked at how sensible it was. Because as a Hibs fan, like Hibs away at Tynecastle was a brilliant experience. You should, if you get a chance, boys, go. It's brilliant. And also the derby at Easter Road special, and the sort of march to Tynecastle underneath the railway bridges with the flares going and the drums banging, and Hibs away, yeah, that's going to be good this season. Yeah. But the one thing I would say is that last March I ended up on a family holiday at Centre Parks, and they had to get extra security in because there was an Old Firm derby on 500 miles away, right?
Really?
So there's so many Scottish people there. And the atmosphere watching it in the pub at Centre Parks with 200 Scottish people, it was, I actually thought we better leave because this is going to end up with tables being chucked around and all the rest of it.
Suddenly bring the plastic glasses out at Centre Parks rather than glass.
It doesn't matter where you are in the world, right? And there's an Old Firm game going on. You have to think twice about where you watch it because it's going to get
100%.
lively.
100%. I remember I was in a bar in Tenerife years and years ago, and I was watching the Old Firm game, and I said to the guy, he was a Scottish guy, and he was a Celtic fan, and I says, I hope the game gets a goal. He went, you don't. I said, no, I hope the game gets a goal. And they scored. Rangers scored within a minute, and the bar just went up.
Yeah.
Within he says, I told you so. We didn't want anybody to score. It was like incredible that the bar just turned upside down because a goal was scored in an Old Firm game. Incredible.
Greatest derby on the planet, Rory, as a football aficionado?
No, I've thought of this so many times, and I think the answer is, like, you can pay an honourable mention to many. Like, you can talk about various derbies and pay them the respect they deserve. But the answer is Rangers Celtic.
Right, okay.
That is the answer.
Not the North London derbies.
No, it's soft. It's flat. It is flat compared to what it should be. Yeah. Like, we can, and then I think people like to be a bit hipster, don't they? And they start talking about, I don't know, when Boca Juniors play River Plate or whatever. Yeah. But I don't know about that. But from my life, from what I've experienced, from my understanding of football, there is nothing like what happens in Glasgow on a derby day.
Tremendous. So, Susan, I hope that answers your question. And the answer from Mark Clattenburg was Birmingham Villa to referee.
That's
it's a good one.
I remember seeing years and years ago there was a pitch invasion after the game. I think Birmingham had beaten Villa. This is at St Andrews, and the Birmingham fans were firing fireworks into the away end from the pitch. You know when do you remember there was that Enkelman? Do you remember that moment with Enkelman at Villa Park?
Yeah.
When a good
Jack
fella ran
Grealish
on the
got
pitch.
attacked on stage. That was Birmingham, wasn't it?
Yeah,
that was at Birmingham.
It is a big derby, that's for sure.
How difficult is that to referee, by the way, Mark? When there is a fan on the pitch and that stuff sort of takes over.
Mad, but the thing is, pitch invasion. I remember one in the north, just straight at my head. That was North London derby. This is how stupid people are. I remember giving a free kick on the touchline, and Arsenal tried to take a quick free kick. It was at White Hart Lane, and I had to stop it because somebody shouts, "There's a fan on the pitch." So I stopped the game. So Arsenal stopped the quick free kick. So fan gets pulled off. He gets booed, of course. So what Arsenal do, decide not to take the quick free kick. They put it into the penalty area, and Van Persie scores. And I'm thinking that fan's just cost Tottenham a goal, because if it wasn't for him, Arsenal wouldn't have put it in the penalty area, and Van Persie might not have scored.
Like the Liverpool fan who got the beach ball on the pitch for Darren Bent at Sunderland.
Yeah.
Arsenal would have tried 400 passes instead.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. 100%.
Good point. So there you go, Susan. There's the answer. And if you've got another question for us, please do. Whistleblowers@dailymail.com, and on socials X, Blowers Pod, TikTok, Whistleblowers Podcast, and Instagram, Whistleblowers Pod. Right, we've got a little bit of DIY to do, Rory. Are you a decent man around the house?
No, I'm not a man. I'm not a man about any house. No, far from it. I mean, I'll give it my best shot. Yeah. But I mean, this is the kind of thing that I should be doing. To be the man I want to be, I'd be good at this.
This is what you need in your life, Rory. As a 42-year-old?
Yeah.
42. This is the stage of life you've reached, I'm afraid.
Yeah, friend. I've got a shed.
It's
more of a,
Did you build it?
Prop. No, of course I didn't.
Have you creosoted the shed?
No, it's become my studio, but I had nothing to do with it. I went on holiday. When I got back, it was done.
It was there. Yeah. You pay the man to do it for you. Right, well, Ian Ladyman and Mark Clattenburg have very carefully put this piece of
done a great job.
Rough wood together. So we need you just to finish it off. There's a hammer there. There's a little bit of plywood, MDF or whatever it is. And I think we've got some dowels there that need sorting out. Actually... Missed your vacation.
Tell you what, if he does such a great job, he might get a leaf blower from Wicks.
He's done that, no bother. He's going to leave the last one there, actually. I've noticed. I wonder, that was it's a Cockney workman, Mark. You see that?
Yeah.
Living off now.
He's done a great job.
Mate, there we go. Yeah. I'm a natural.
Yeah. He's going to go off and have a fag and then breathe a cigarette through his teeth for half an hour. Yeah. I don't know, I'm going to have to come back. We have to reprice.
Yeah, I could make that. Well, my dad certainly could make that a 3-day job.
Excellent job, Rory Jennings there, proving that he's not just got soft, delicate hands of a media starlet. Brilliant stuff. Wakes Trade Pro, thank you very much for that table. It's almost ready for me to take home. Right, we've got an important job for you, Rory, while you're here, because we've been doing our all-time 11s, right? Ian's put a formidable team together with an awful lot of Liverpool players. I don't know what that tells us. Mark's got a very European team put together, and mine's just curious. But as a challenge to you, as a man who works in football almost every day of your life, I'd like you to reel off your 4-4-2 and your keeper, just off the top of your head, based purely on your instincts. Rory Jennings, your all-time dream 11.
Okay,
starting goal.
Okay, totally off the top of my head here. The best goalkeeper, I believe, is Peter Schmeichel. We'll go Peter Schmeichel in goal. I think Ashley Cole at left back is the best left back to have ever lived. I really do. I really do. The two centre halves, I'm going to go Baresi, John Terry.
Yeah.
The best right back of all time is potentially Cafu.
Yeah.
So Frank Lampard is central midfield, no doubt, and he will
put Paul Scholes.
Frank, I love Scholes. I love Scholes, but Frank Lampard is the greatest midfielder to have ever walked the face of the earth.
Greater than Gerrard.
Better than anyone. There isn't. You could reel them off here. You could reel them off from a bygone era as well. Yeah. And I'm afraid that it just is Frank Lampard. I'll put him alongside the greatest midfielder of all time. I mean, who am I missing here? So have you gone all time on yours? Have you gone?
Yeah, have you gone my left
even eras before your? So for example, would you go? Do I go Bobby Charlton here because of what he did for Manchester United, being on the plane? Yeah. Okay, let's go Bobby Charlton. I think it was England's best ever sportsman, from what I've learned, not what I've witnessed. The Lampard, Charlton. So you've been a coward. Have you put Maradona left midfield rather than up front so that you could accommodate?
Great header.
So that you could.
Header the ball.
Don't start that. The best okay, if we're going to do that, I'm going to put Cristiano Ronaldo as a right winger.
Yeah.
The best left winger of all time. It's so difficult, isn't it? The best left winger of all time.
Or left midfielder if you wanted to place a more sensible sort of defensive left midfielder.
I'll come back to that. Up front, I'm going to go Maradona, Van Basten, and Messi on the wing.
So you've gone for yeah.
That work?
I think it's kind of a 4-3-3, but would you play Maradona as a left midfielder?
Maradona as a left midfielder.
Yeah. And then Van Basten.
Maradona on the left, Ronaldo on the right, Maradona, Van Basten up front.
Not bad at all, that. Off the top of your head, pretty good, that. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Who would manage your team?
Jose Mourinho.
Excellent. Stevie Clark, no?
I love Steve Clark. I love Steve Clark. Steve Clark's one of our best ever right backs.
Oh, he's fantastic.
Brilliant player for us.
Also a great Scotland song as well. Stevie Clark, do. And that's because you've got a 6-year-old daughter. Baby sharks in your head.
It fits perfectly.
Right, as a little reminder then, shall we give you Mark's team? So you've got a 4-4-2, Mark. So far, Peter Schmeichel in goal, Kyle Walker, Vincent Kompany, Pepe Maldini at the back. Then Figo, Patrick Vieira, Andres Iniesta, and Ronaldo making up the midfield. So we are up front for you, Mark Clattenburg. Who are you going for?
Only one, Pele.
Yeah.
First player to win 3 World Cups. Incredible, record when I think he still got the Guinness Book of Records for the most goals.
Yeah.
Against appearances. Yeah, Santos. So for me, even though I've only watched clips, I wasn't born when, unfortunately I wasn't born to watch him live, but watching clips of him, we're still talking about that. Still that debate that we had last week about could players play, from years ago in today's game. That's a big debate. But watching Pele in that era was just something else. And to win 3 World Cups is just an incredible feat in that Brazil team. So brilliant. I'm going to go with Pele up front.
Good choice. Right, Ian, in absence, has given us his 4-2-3-1. Modern football journalist thinks he knows more than Pep. Terrible. Buffon in goal, Phil Neal, Vidic, Hansen, Ashley Cole. And then his defensive midfield combo was Busquets and Roy Keane. Then Kenny Dalglish on the right. And he's got Gaza as number 10. And here is Ian Ladyman with his first up front, if you could argue Gaza is in number 10. Who's he gone for, Ian Ladyman?
Hello guys, it's Ian here, checking in from Centre Parks at Longleat. If you listen carefully, you may be able to hear in the background, not the sound of badgers and deers and other assorted wildlife, but no, you can probably hear the rain falling. Wet start to the Ladyman Summer Holiday 2025. But onwards and upwards from here, I'm sure. Hope you're coping. I'm only getting in touch because we're still doing our team of the season. I don't want to get left behind. So here's my left-sided midfielder. I've said before how happy I am with my team so far. I have to say, the further we get down the path from 1 to 11, the harder it seems to get, the more or the greater the realisation of some of the great players that I'm leaving out of my team. Maradona, Lionel Messi, Johan Cruyff, Steven Gerrard, Frank Lampard, many, many others. But that's the way it goes. Left side of my midfield, remember, we've already got Paul Gascoigne at number 10. We've got Kenny Dalglish stuck over on the right side. On the left side, it's Cristiano Ronaldo. I watched him play for many, many years for Manchester United. I watched him. I was in Lisbon the day that United watched him play in a pre-season game back in the day and decided to accelerate their interest to sign him. I watched him make his debut off the bench in the Premier League against Bolton when he appeared and contributed more step-overs in a 10-minute cameo than I'd probably seen in my career at that point, or indeed have seen since. But he went on to be much more than a show pony, of course. He learnt incredibly well from the best teachers at Old Trafford. They loved him at Manchester United, never forget that. They loved him in that dressing room. People like Roy Keane, Gary Neville, Paul Scholes, Ryan Giggs, Rio Ferdinand, some of the hardest and most severe judges in modern football. They loved Cristiano, not just for his incredible natural ability, but for his work ethic, his understanding as he grew of team play, his braveness, his willingness to get kicked and get up. He did stop diving eventually. I think it's fair to say that. We can forget about his second. We can forget about his second spell. Apologies if you can hear some noise in the background. I do have a family with me. We can forget about his second spell at Manchester United. That was a mistake, but we can remember what he contributed during his years at Real Madrid, and indeed over those 150 odd appearances for Portugal. Yes, he's gone on too long. Yes, he's probably sees himself as a centre forward as his career has gone on, but I always see him as a left-sided player. Actually, Cole in my team is going to have to do some work, because Ronaldo won't be doing much tracking back when the opposition have the ball. But given the ability of the players that I've picked in this 11, I don't anticipate the opposition seeing much of the ball. So there you go, my left-sided player in my team, the great Cristiano Ronaldo.
There we go, Ian Ladyman from Centre Parks. It sounds like Clark Griswold's family holiday, that one. And I'm delighted it's raining on that miserable football journalist from the Daily Mail. Right, I've gone for a 4-4-2. Neville Southall in goals, Cafu, Paolo Maldini, Franco Baresi, Andy Robertson, then Beckham, Zidane, Souness, Maradona on the left. And you don't really need to say much more, but Messi has to be in the greatest team of all time. So, yeah, Messi's there.
Very surprised you didn't go Kenny Dalglish there. There was a real Scottish flavour to that.
It was, yeah. I mean, again, I wanted to put Kenny Dalglish in, but you have to say that Messi's career has been so special. And actually, I was thinking about the argument that nobody kicked anybody as much as Kenny Dalglish was kicked in football, but I think Messi took a bit of serious punishment over the years, didn't he?
Yeah,
and still played in, with a grace and a flair that I don't think many people can match. But imagine Messi and Maradona in the same team. That's quite an exciting prospect. Right, so that's my 4-4-2. Please let me know what yours is as well. Get in touch with us on email and let us know your Dream 11. Joe says, interested to see whether any players from the modern era make it into these teams. I think we had a couple in there, haven't we? Ronaldo, you could say modern era. Messi, modern era. Simon says,
Messi, Maradona, Messi, Ronaldo, Robertson.
Lampard from you today as well. Simon says, not enough prime Barclays for my liking. You put John Terry in as well, prime Barclays.
Yeah.
And Margaret says, I wouldn't have Maradona in my team, no matter how good he was. I'm still not over Mexico 86.
Yeah.
It was a brilliant header, Margaret. Deal with it.
Let it go. Let it go.
Put the left hand in, your left hand out.
And out.
You do the Maradona. You turn around. Anyway, that's enough of that before I get lynched in London by Chelsea fans. Get in touch. We're back on Thursday for the next instalment of Whistleblowers. Follow us on socials. Mark, do the honours, please. It's time to blow the full-time whistle.
Just before I blow the full-time whistle, I'm just slightly disappointed that Rory doesn't sit a little bit further back in the sofa, because then we would have another Tommy Cooper impression.
Is there a fizz?
Because we had Ian Ladyman, who sat for the full show, right, with a hat. It looks like the lamps on his hat, his head, so it looks like he's got a hat on. But you've survived that, Rory. Well done. Brilliant job. And to finish the show...
If you want to watch more episodes of Whistleblowers, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. We'll keep you up to date all the way through the summer with everything that's happening in the world of football.